Is there a reason you're on my desk, or... Oh, I get it. Yeah, you're playing up the whole stereotype thing where you're the cat, and that's the mouse, so you're trying to get the mouse, right? Is that what this is about? Is that why you're on my desk? Certainly that's why you're on my desk. Probably, because, like, I move the mouse. Moving the mouse. Oh, yeah, there it is. Wow, what is that? Now you want it. Oh, it's down here. It's down on Photoshop. Oh, what's it going to do next? What's it going to do next? The truth is, you shouldn't be on my desk attacking my computer screen. I'm going to have to ask you, sir, I'm going to have to... God, I can't. He's so cute. But you really can't. Here. Oh, my coaster. Okay, there you go. There you go, buddy. Wonderful. Yep. Yep. Hi. Yeah, you can't do that, hon. You can't go after that mouse. It's not a mouse for eating. It's a mouse for clicking, which is a completely different type of mouse. Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday. I'm going to be talking about something that I find very interesting, something that I always knew existed. I mentioned it the other day, but I've had far more evidence for it tonight, and that is regional rarity. And what I'm talking about is video games that are hard to find in certain places, but not hard to find in others. You get the idea that maybe they are rare, but really they're just rare for where you are. Now, the example that I had used a week ago or so, whenever we got back from the trip, was that I had went up to these New England states and I saw games that I had never seen before. There were games that were up in that area that I had an easy time finding that in this area I had never seen before. There were also games that I saw like once on the trip, and I picked it up when I saw it and I never saw it again. The reason this is all coming back into light for today's vlog is that out of the blue I get a message from John, Proton John, and he sent me a message and said, you know, he knew that I was collecting GameCube games and said he was going to his local store and wanted to know if I was interested in seeing what they had. And I was like, that would be awesome. So he took a bunch of pictures of all of their GameCube stuff, and I was blown away, to be honest, because games that I never found, we went to all of those game stores for the past few weeks in New England, you know, 30 plus, maybe 40 plus stores, never found, you know, certain games. There they are. And not just one, like multiple games. And in some cases, multiple copies of the games. And I was just like, what? How? But again, regional rarity. Now, the region doesn't have to be across, you know, a country, although certainly I think that helps the difference between the U.S. and Canada, since John is in Canada, but also in different parts of the U.S. too. Like I said, there was games that I saw in New England I'd never seen here, and they were everywhere, you know. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, if you travel around, you don't know what you're going to find. And one of the best examples, I think, was a game called Rave Master. There's a game called Rave Master for the GameCube. I had never heard of it prior to going on the road trip. Whenever we went on the road trip, I made a list that had every GameCube game on it. One of those was Rave Master, and I was thinking, what the crap is this? I've never heard of this game in my life. And, you know, we found one copy on the trip, and it didn't have the, I think it was just the disc, and I was like, okay, I'm going to pass. Hopefully we'll find it again. And then maybe near the end of the trip or something, we found it one more time, and it was complete, and it was cheap. And I was like, I haven't seen this thing. You know, it feels like it should cost more, but it was cheap, so I picked it up. Well, that was like the only one I saw. And John sends me, you know, these pictures of his game store, and there's like 4 or 5 copies of Rave Master, like just sitting on the shelf together. And I'm like, oh, that's where they are. They're in Canada. Along with a bunch of other stuff. I never saw the Metal Gear Solid game for GameCube, Twin Snakes, on the trip. Not once, at least that I can remember. And there's multiple copies in John's local store. So, I don't know.
I don't know, regional rarity is definitely a thing, and I think you should be careful when you're in the same type of position that I was in, where you're traveling around all these different game stores, because you start to build this impression that something is rarer than it actually is. Now, certainly, it is to some extent, right? Like, if you're the region that you're going to be traveling around is only so big, if you can't find a game, or if you find one copy, then it is rare for where you are. But it's important to remember that these things aren't rare everywhere. The best way to find out what a game is worth is going to eBay and looking at sold listings, because it may drastically affect how you view a game. You may never ever find a game, and finally one day you stumble across it. And in your head, before you even look at the price tag, you're like, this must be worth a great deal. Well, look at it on eBay, because it might surprise you. So, yeah, it's just interesting. Now, to make things fair, I said, you know, John, is there anything that you're looking for? Well, turns out he's just about finished collecting all of the NES games. He's been working on licensed NES for a while, and he's down to like 20 games. So he gave me those games, and I'm going to take a look at Player's Choice for him and see if I can find any of these. Some of them aren't particularly rare, I'm pretty sure, so that's kind of nice. But I can relate. When we were finishing N64 and we got down to like 25, 30 games, some of those games were not particularly difficult. It was just one of those things like, we'd never found it. We just never stumbled across that game. So hopefully we can stumble across a few of these and maybe make it a little easier on him as well. The cool thing is, he, you know, offered to pick up some of these games because we're going to be physically together next week, so it works out really well. He can pick up the games, bring them to the charity event, and I can just get them from him then, which is really convenient. Anyway, to end off this vlog, I think I'm going to try what I think will be a fun little experiment. In the comments, give the name of a game that you've just never been able to find. Like a game that you really have wanted to try and find, stumble across in a shop at some point and say, I really want to find this particular game, have not been able to find it. Then go around and read everyone else's comments and see if someone else has mentioned a game that they couldn't find that you have seen before. Maybe you've seen tons of it. And, maybe talk about the region that you're from, because it could very much be a regional thing. Can't find a game? Maybe you're looking in the wrong place. Maybe that's all there is to it. Alternatively, just buy it online. It's a quick, easy way. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?